Hello guys, this is TechUd and today we will be covering all the new things Apple announced at WWDC 2024. First, Apple started with Vision OS 2, the update to the software of the Vision Pro, and they introduced a new feature that allows you to convert your normal 2D photos to spatial photos, which obviously makes any photo that you already had that was not spatial photo to become a spatial photo, so you can enjoy it as any other spatial photo. And then they made SharePlay in the Photos app, so you can share the moments that you have in the when you're looking at your memories in the Photos app, you can share it with others. And they made new gestures that make the software interface more easy and simpler to use, and they also introduced higher display resolution and size support for Mac Virtual Display, which is the feature that allowed you to cast your Mac's your Mac's display to your Vision Pro and see it from there. So they made higher display resolution in it, and more sizes support, but that would be introduced later this fall with the release of the latest macOS, which is Sequoia. And they also added train support to the travel mode, which makes the travel mode more versatile and more useful. And they introduced a new format called Apple Immersive Video, which is supposed to make videos more interesting and more engaging. Now we move on to iOS 18, where it is to be considered as the biggest iOS update in iPhone history. It has better home screen customization, which allows you to change icons and the arrangement of them, which obviously is a very welcomed feature. And they also enhance the customization for the control center, and now the small icons in it have a more circular look, and you can move the icons and change their size in the control center. They also introduced locked and hidden apps in the for the iPhones for iOS, so you can lock and hide apps that you don't want other people to see when they use your phone. And also they increase the customization in the lock screen by allowing you to change the shortcuts in the lock screen from the default phone and flashlight to any other functions, which is obviously a huge change that should have came from a long time, but it finally came. They also overhauled the Photos app completely by making it easier and simpler to use, because over time it became too complex and very frustrating at times. They also introduced a new gaming mode, so you can when you play your games, you can play them at the highest refresh rates and highest performance. which is a feature that was in the last version of macOS, but they introduced it to iOS and iPadOS. They also introduced they also made the reminders be integrated into your calendar so you can organize your time better. They also made the categories in the Mail app better and more relevant. And they also introduced a new hiking trail feature in the Apple Maps. Also, Apple Messages had a few huge upgrades by introducing emoji tab backs, which allows you to put any emoji in your messages, which allows you to have any emoji to reply to messages with any emoji. And also they introduce text effects which helps make the your messages look more interesting. And they also introduced RCS messaging support, which allows you to have good quality messaging between iPhone users and between iPhone users and iPhone to Android users. And also they introduced a new satellite feature by allowing you to send messages via satellite when you're not connected to the internet or mobile data. And it's also supposed to be private to have good privacy and good features. Now we move on to audio and home. First we start off with the Apple AirPods. They introduced voice isolation on the AirPods Pro, which isolates your voice when you are taking a phone call in a loud area or in loud areas or crowded areas. And then they introduced Siri interactions with the AirPods Pro, which where they introduced a new feature that when you get a phone call and Siri notifies you that you got a call from someone, you can simply reply. You can simply answer or decline the call by just doing these two gestures. For answering, you do a simple nod, and for declining, you simply just do this. Now we move on to WatchOS 11. They introduced new photo faces, which makes when you use a new photo as a watch face, it recommends them as the most suitable photos for a photo's watch face. And they also introduced knife activities, the one that they introduced in iOS 17 last year, which allows you to see that if you have a delivery coming or a ride sharing service coming, you can see its progress in the lock screen or in the home screen at the top. They also added new interactive widgets to the Apple Watch, which is obviously more convenient and simple. They also, for WatchOS 11, they introduced a new Vitals app, which allows you to see all of your health statistics in one unified place that is simple and more interactive. They also introduced a new feature called Training Load, which shows you how much load you have done on yourself when you're training. As simple as that. And that is for any sport that you have done. or any intensive sport you have done, like a 5K marathon or a bike race or a normal marathon. They also introduce a feature that can allow you to set your own effort rating for your training and your exercises and that. And finally, they introduced new features for the maps. The first one is turn-by-turn hiking navigation, which works on the Apple Maps, and also they have distance and route maps for more workouts like cycling, running, and or jogging, for example. That's it for watchOS. Now we move on to iPadOS 18, which is also almost as big as an update as iOS 18, but not the same level really. But they introduced some of the same features like home screen customization, which is basically as they did it on the iPhone but for iPad, and also customizable app icons and control center customization. And also they introduced the Photos app redesign also for the iPad. But there are also a few unique features for the iPad, like the redesigned tab bar, which appears in any apps that belong to Apple, like the Photos app, the Apple TV app, and a few other apps, like mostly Apple apps. And they introduce screen sharing in SharePlay, so you can share your screen while you have SharePlay on in a FaceTime call or anything like that. And they finally introduced the calculator app for iPad, and they really made it unique as a calculator app. They introduced the same calculator app from the iPhone, but the wide one for the iPad, like the one that has calculations and also the algebraic expressions and that. And they also introduced unique features like the mass notes, which depends on your Apple Pencil. You use your Apple Pencil in the calculator app to take notes and write expressions and that, and the calculator app immediately can answer them, which is very intelligent and will change studying for studying math. And they also added interactive graphing, which means like when you can have an interactive graph that is based on your a certain algebraic expression you have, and it adjusts to it automatically, which is very useful. They also added smart script in Notes, which helps you in the Notes app, that if you are, for example, writing something in the Apple Notes with your handwriting, the Apple Notes app can immediately recognize your handwriting and make it a little more straighter and more looking nice, which is a feature that would be very useful with people with bad handwriting, or someone who likes things to look organized and simple. And they also added scenes in freeform, which is dependent I think on Apple Intelligence, I'm not sure. And they added the game mode also, as we said before, for the iPadOS, which would be a game changer. Now we move on to macOS Sequoia, which doesn't have a lot of new features this year compared to any other update, but that's fine. they introduced iPhone mirroring, which can mirror your iPhone screen on your Mac when you're using the Mac, and mirroring works while the iPhone is locked, which means your iPhone can be locked and you can still be using it while you're using your Mac. And you can actually also put the iPhone in standby and still be using it while it's in standby, which is very cool and unique. And also you get the notifications from your iPhone and the audio from it while it's being mirrored onto your Mac, which is very good. And many other companies implemented things similar to this before, but Apple has introduced it in a way that's totally better than the competition. You also have better video conferencing by adding new features, by having new features in the video conferencing settings, but it's not much as an update as last year. They also have the new passwords app, which is in all other Apple softwares, and this will be an easier way to manage your passwords rather than the iCloud keychain settings in the settings app. And you also have a better Safari ad. They also made the Safari browser way better this year on Mac, and it has a lot of features that make it better than its competitors like Chrome and Edge, and it also has better privacy, which makes it also have competition with browsers like Brave and other browsers that care about privacy. And you also have better gaming on it, and more gaming titles will be coming to macOS over this year and coming years, hopefully. And that's it for WWDC 2024. But there's one more thing we have to mention in another video that will be coming soon, and it will be about Apple Intelligence, because Apple Intelligence in the event was covered very intensely and is a new game changer, but it has a lot of things to talk about that won't fit in this video, so see you in the next video. Bye. This is TechCube, and if you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to TechCube, and see you later.